The EMIT data relay can be configured to talk to a variety of panels via Modbus. Usually, EMIT will send out the module already configured for a specific panel. If not, this video will cover how the module can be configured in the field. First, install the EDR in the panel and wire the power, Modbus, and the antenna. Specific install guides for each panel will cover how this is done. In general, Modbus on electronic panels will connect from A to B, while Murphy panels will connect A to A. Next, check to see if the panel drawing matches a known configuration. If this is the case, skip ahead in the video to uploading config files. As a note, any EIM panel is also the same, so you can skip ahead in that case as well. Example 1. Creating config files for DD40 or TTD. These two annunciators are very similar in that only the shutdown code table has to be edited. Copy the blank TTD or DD40 folder to a new folder and rename the folder. The new name should have the unit number or the drawing number so that it can be referenced later. In the new folder, open the file EMIT tel shutdown codes. Fill in the text of the table to match the shutdown plate. Unused numbers can be left alone. If there is a label box, you can optionally fill it in with any label. Save the table when finished. Do not use Save As. You can rename a file if you want, but leave the first section the same. Note that for TTD or DD40, the run status and Modbus master tables do not have to be edited. Now skip ahead in the video to uploading config files. Example 2. Creating config files for Ultronic DE3000. Copy the blank DE3000 folder to a new folder and rename the folder. Open the folder and then the file EMIT tel shutdown codes. Fill in the table to name each input to match the channel number. If the drawing is not available, this can be checked on the screen. When finished, save this file. Next, open the file EMIT tel Modbus master table. For each channel that matches a tag, put the register number 40089 plus the channel number. For example, channel 1 is at 40090, and channel 10 is on 40099. Make sure to set all the target IDs to 1. The other columns should not have to be changed right now. Any tag that is not used can be set to 0 for the register. If there is a label box, you can optionally fill it in with any label. When finished, save this file. Do not use Save As. You can rename a file if you want, but leave the first section the same. From here, skip ahead in the video to uploading config files. Example 3. Creating config files for Murphy Centurion C4. Copy the blank C4 folder to a new folder and rename it. First, open the file EMIT tel shutdown codes. You will need the Murphy programming document for the panel. Find the section for the shutdown list. Put a description next to each number in the shutdown code table to match the SD code column in the programming document. When finished, save this table. Do not use Save As. Next, open the file EMIT tel Modbus master table. For each analog input that matches a tag, enter the register 42002 plus the analog input number. For example, if suction was on AI1, we would use 42003 for the suction register. As another example, if compressor oil pressure was on AI6, we would use 42008. For each temperature input that matches a tag, enter the register 42028 plus the input number. For example, if discharge 1 is on TC1, we would enter 42029. Tags that are not present can be left with a register of 0. When finished, save this table. Do not use save as. Afterwards, files can be renamed if desired, but leave the first section the same. Uploading the configuration files. Once the module is powered on, use a computer and look for a Wi-Fi network with that EDR serial number. Connect to the network with the password EMIT, all lowercase. Open a browser and in the address bar go to 172.16.16.1. A page should show up for configuration. There are 3 files to be uploaded. First, go to Modbus Master along the top. Scroll down and open the Modbus Master Table File heading. Click Choose File and go to the folder with the config you want. Select the master table file. Then click Upload. Next, go to the Alerts page along the top. Open the Table Configuration Files header. Under Shutdown or Fault Code Table, select Choose File and select the new Shutdown Code Table. Then select Upload. Under the Run Status table, select Choose File and select the new Run Status table. Then select Upload. The configuration is now complete. Testing and debugging. After configuring, open the Modbus Master Table tab and then open the table. For rows with a register, you should start seeing values read to the right. They are usually only updated once a minute. Some values will have an age of never if they're not expected, and that is okay. Under Alerts, the current run register should appear correct and not be timed out. If the unit is running, the fault register probably is not relevant, but it should not say timeout. If you don't see values here or there are timeouts, check the following. 1. Under Modbus Master Network Config, check that the baud rate is set to 9600 and Use Serial is checked. 2. Check the port configuration on the panel itself. For TTD, the RTU should be set to 1, the port should be 0, and the baud should be 0. For a DD40, the serial mode should be 485 and not A485. The baud rate should be 9600, and the node number should be 01. For the DE3000, node should be 1, and port 3 should be set to Modbus 9600. Port 1 settings do not matter in this case. For Centurion C4, control panel port 2 mode should be RS485, and port 2 baud should be 9600. For other panels, there should be similar settings to check that the baud is 9600 and the node ID is 1. 3. Check the wiring. Make sure that the wiring matches the install guide for that panel. There are specific guides for each panel type. Once the data is showing up, verify on the main table that the scaling is correct. For example, sometimes panels will report a value as times 10 to allow a decimal. In this case, you'll notice a reading is 10 times its true value. Just change the scaling column for that row from 1 to 0.1. Afterwards, it should read correctly. Check under the Debug tab for the cell status under the heading Connection Information, and the signal strength should be a valid number. If there is no signal, make sure the antenna wiring are all in the correct ports, and then try turning the antenna if needed. If there is still no signal, a higher antenna may be needed. At this point, everything is complete. Wi-Fi can be disconnected. The call-up numbers can be entered on the normal site at data.emitechnologies.com at any time. For more information, go to forum.emitechnologies.com and go to the Knowledge Base section, Connect.